Alright, so the live has started. Finally, we are back again live. Last live में थोड़ी सी गड़बड़ की वजह से live जो है that was cut shorted, but we are back again with the part 2 on the same day of the Two Bookdragons episode 4. होता है technical errors again हमारे control से बाहर के छोटे मोटे errors, so कोई बात नहीं. So we have concluded the Alchemist and we discussed the end very briefly as well. We discussed the whole story very briefly as well. So अभी takeaways की अगर हम बात करें, so let's just start with the fact that one takeaway that you guys had from this book.
For me, it was never to look back. Like if you have started your journey and if you are having a destination, and if you even are not having a destination, but you know कि तुम्हें life में क्या करना, you have a path set. Even if there is not a destination, you shouldn't look back because of the difficulties you're gonna get. If, for example, if you want to develop something and you don't have the required skills, so you can learn the skill set and move ahead developing that and not stop because अरे मेरे को पढ़ना पड़ेगा and I have to invest a lot of time in that and how am I going to do या मेरा profession से बहुत अलग है but मुझे ये चीज़ करनी. So that is how the thing is. So not looking back and just following your own dreams and making them successful, because अगर determination है, consistency है, so no one can stop you achieving what you want to do. That is what's my main takeaway from it.
I agree. My main takeaway was introspection. That when you're done with everything, or when you're, you have obstacles right in front of you, you have everything, and you have to constantly introspect. Am I doing the right thing? Am I not? And then make a choice. So it's more to do with the fact that you make the right choice ki jagah. You make the choice and then make it right. So it could be anything कि तुमने शायद तुम्हारे लिए, बट वो तुम्हारे लिए तब सही था और नहीं है तो उसको सही बनाने के लिए तुम और क्या कर सकते हो. So that was my key takeaway from this particular book. What about you, Saurabh?
And just before going ahead, so जितने भी लोगों ने rejoin कर लिया है, because people have started to rejoin again, please like this stream as well so that और लोगों को पता लगे that this is the part 2 that is happening. And if you are here and enjoy this podcast and you want us to do more podcasts, then make sure you click that subscribe button and we'll know that you guys are enjoying this and you guys want to come back again and again and again. And it's totally free of cost. Subscribe button दबाने में क्या जाता है? So just click that subscribe button. And my key takeaway, as I already said, that this was the book that actually gave me that meaning. And surprisingly, that happened in the journey, like that journey of when you can say that I left out to find my own treasures, and surprisingly that coincidence was there. So my takeaway was simply that your solitude resides within you, but the journey to find it always resides in the outer world. And that's something that I learned from this book, and I always keep on preaching to people. So yeah, that was my takeaway. And I hope most of the people can resonate with one of us. Technically सारे बातों का मतलब एक ही है, but बस अलग-अलग words है, and that's how it is. So going up ahead, so if you had to recommend to people that why should they read this book, what would be your recommendation? Why should people read this book?
To get, I think, a sense of things, the sense of your own pain, probably. When you also discover quite a lot about your own self when you are taking this journey with Santiago. So it could be that, like I said in the start, ki any age group ka person can pick this up. So the treasure could be different for different people, but along with Santiago, I think somewhere even we are a little bit wiser once we finish reading this book. So I think that's why I would recommend this book. Ki it will leave an impact on the way you move ahead in life.
For me, before recommending this book, I would have a question for them. What is current situation of you in your life? So are you stuck somewhere? Are you in dilemma? Are you very sorted? So it all depends upon what their perceptions or what their current situation is there in their life. And according to that, I would twist that answer for them, because somewhere it gives you an overall happening, what is happening in the life, the overall picture the Alchemist teaches you. So in that manner, I would like to recommend them. That will be so that they can relate to it and they can read while finding the answers in their own life. So that is something which will be very helpful for them also.
मेरी रिकमेंडेशन तो बहुत सिंपल है, जो मैंने शुरू में ही कहा था, that if you guys love to read stories that has thrill, that has travel, that has like love, romance in it, pick up this book. And if you guys love to read stories which are so philosophical that you can find the deep rooted meanings of your life, pick this book. So the choice is yours. आपको कहानी पसंद है तो उठाओ, आपको philosophy पसंद है तो उठाओ. It just fits in your every category that you can, whatever category you like. So that is the thing. And going ahead to
this could be English teacher का favorite book. Why are the cut?
True. So
give a reason why was he laughing towards the end of it.
True. So going ahead to the final section of our discussion about the dissection of the Alchemist is, as we have always said, that हम कोई भी negative aspect की बात नहीं करते हैं, because we are at no place to be critic. These books are way far above us. So there's no way we're going to talk about कि क्या बुरी चीज़ें हैं या क्या चीज़ें गलत है या giving it a stars. We don't do that, but we do a very creative thing to see the creative side of it. So if we would have written this book, what would be the one thing that you would change about it? Anything. It could be anything.
I want you to answer this first.
I'll answer the last. I'll answer the last. So yeah.
I haven't really thought about this particular question for this particular book, but maybe the title, because I feel the title is a giver. So I could go for a bit of a more mysterious title rather than telling okay, what this book is going to be about. So I could probably name it Crossroads or Choices or something along those lines. But probably I would. What about you, Simran?
I love the book as it is. Like, I don't feel like changing anything.
That's not the thing. If you would, that's the whole point. Now that we are not Paulo Coelho, we would have never written the same book. That's the whole point. But if we get a chance, that assume it in a parallel universe, we are writing the same book, but we have to make sure कि copy ना कोई बोले, तो we have to change one thing. So what would be that one thing that you will be changing very smartly, and probably you think that this might add a new flavor to them. It can be anything, man. It can be even a new character if you want to add on. So yeah, that's the whole thing.
I can probably break because in the starting, his heart wasn't broken. He wasn't sure that the person loves him or not. So I would probably break his heart there and then give it a final closure that your heart is broken. Now you go ahead in your life. So that is somewhere that I would give a touch.
That's nice. And my change would be that for end में when he gets back to the cemetery and finds his treasure, से पहले मैं एक scene और जोड़ता somewhere where I would have made sure that he goes back to his village, meets his parents, and he's spending some time over there. As in, he knows where the treasure is right now. He knows it. He knows it already, but he's not going there to dig it up. And probably I would have taken Fatima with him as well, and it will be like that. वो लाफ कंटिन्यू रहती, वो हर दिन के एंड में शायद दोबारा वो सपना देखता और फिर वो दोबारा से हंसता ही हंसता. सो आई वुड हैव कंटिन्यूड दैट लाफ दैट ही हैड, दैट नाउ दैट ड्रीम इज नॉट ट्रबलिंग हिम. नाउ दैट ड्रीम इज मींस नथिंग टू हिम बिकॉज ही नो वेयर द ट्रेजर, एंड वी वुड बी स्टिल थिंकिंग कि अभी भी ड्रीम क्यों आ रहा है इससे अबाउट द सेम जो ऑलरेडी देख चुका है. And why is he laughing if he has given up and he's living his normal life? But the whole point was that he wanted to make sure कि उस treasure पे मैं तब जाऊंगा जब मुझे सही लगेगा. And he will just go one fine day when they decide to वो बच्चों को पढ़ाए वो सब करे and tell them कि travel कितना अच्छा होता है. And then one fine day he decides to get back to his old life being a shepherd again, but now he needs to buy the ships and buy the same ships from the same merchant. Now he gets to cemetery, he is laying down there smiling, laughing, and then he digs up the treasure. So that would be my little added part of couple of pages that I would have added to make it more dragged up. वो laugh जो है मैं उसको और drag करता कहीं ना कहीं. That would be my thing. But yeah, I'm not Paulo Coelho obviously.
और if you would have waited तो ये भी ending दिखा सकते कि उसको treasure मिला ही नहीं because someone else reached.
नहीं, मुझे नहीं मार खानी, ऑलराइट, नहीं जा, मुझे नहीं पिटना, सो या जस्ट बिग ओवर, बस इतना काफी था, इतना काफी था मेरे लिए, जस्ट टू टेक अप जस्ट द होल सेंस ऑफ it is like if I put myself in the shoes of Santiago, that what I would have done. I would have never gone directly again to the cemetery and would have taken up the treasure as me, or Fatima जो है वो वहीं है, and I'll be like, alright, I'll meet you again. I'd have started living my normal life, as in that I don't need the treasure right now because I find my solitude already. But obviously, monetary things matter. But I just want to prove myself more that monetary thing was not the actual treasure, but this was the actual treasure. So once I have achieved that motion, because usko just click hua hai abhi, he has not achieved it, he has just clicked it, he has just realized it yet. So from that realization to achieved वाली ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन मैं एक बार कहीं ना कहीं फील करता, and then I would have got back, and then I'll be like, all right, now I need to achieve it completely. And how would I have achieved it? By getting back to my old rich sense, and his old rich sense was having the possession of those ships. That's the moment when he was the most richest. So then I would have digged up that treasure. I would have given 1/10 to the gypsy woman. I would have given, जो भी अगर मुझे किंग दोबारा मिलता है तो शायद उसको भी थोड़ा ऐसे इनाम में दे देता. I would have talked to the merchant and be like कि क्या तुम गए मक्का, अच्छा नहीं गए, ये लो एक्स्ट्रा पैसे, शायद तुम अब जा पाओ, or whatever it is. And then I would have bought back all the ships from the same merchant. The merchant's daughter now no more attracts me because I found the true meaning of the love, and I found my true love. So a whole recap, you can say, and buy the sword as well and everything. So the whole complete recap, and then get back, and just that's how I would have done it.
You want a book to come back a full circle.
Exactly, that's what it did come back a full circle, but it come back to the full circle of the dream basically. But I would have liked to come back a full circle of from where he started. He always felt that he's a poor man and he needs to learn more. And where he ends is exactly the same place where he started, with a better wisdom. That's the only change. So that's what my little different would be.
Sure. And with that, we end.
And with that, we end the dissection of the Alchemist, and now we have reached the special section जिसकी हमने शुरू में बात की थी, for which the people would have been waiting, for which we have our special guest today on board, the author of Cordially Yours, Simran. Are you ready for your तीखे सवाल जवाब? मेरे पास पेन नहीं है यार, वरना मैं रैंडम मोड में जरूर आता. This would have gone like that. वैसे boxes बने हुए हैं, and I would have been in the same mode. But yeah, फायदा ये है that you can just disconnect and be like कि कौन सा नेशनल टीवी पे कुछ होने वाला है, बाद में मैसेज कर.
I'm not cruel like you. I'm not cruel like you, so don't worry.
Okay. So, सीधा पहला सवाल.
Yes.
About the name of the book. Why Cordially Yours?
Because I wanted something which tells people that it is a collection of letters, and something which they connect with it. Like Cordially Yours is like for example, in Marathi it is a very true meaning I found in Marathi, which is manapasun तुमच्यासाठी. So it is like for you dil se. So that is something which I wanted everyone to connect with, because उसका content ही वैसा है कि everyone should connect with it, and I wanted it to start with the title itself. Initially it was some other title which was planned, but then मैंने late कर दिया, and some book came around with the same title. So मुझे वो copy नहीं करवाना था, and I didn't want people to come and tell me that it is a copy of that book, the concept is same, or blah 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 anything. So I was like, okay, now I'll change the title. I'll come up with something good. But then I came around various titles, but this, when I wrote it, I was like, this is gonna be done. I actually asked the opinion of many people, not telling them ki why I'm asking them. Everyone, it was a very funny thing when I asked people about the title opinion. From 10 people, it was a no, like legit no. I did not get a one person telling me you go ahead with this title. So, but I was so fascinated with it. I'm like, I'm gonna go with this one. Let the world go anyway. So I loved the title.
Quite nice. So I have read the book personally. Why the topic?
Why? Why each topic?
Like
Actually,
I
there
know
are.
topics that you probably picked up, but I want to know your story. Why did you pick up, or the topic that's particularly close to your heart? Ki, haan, this is all my heart and soul into particular.
Actually, I would say all the topics are very close to my heart. These stories are, or this is something which I have written, are a people of people around me, people I have seen, like my friends, my family, my friends' friends. These stories which I hear around me, the strangers that I meet in my journey, while traveling in the train or while going or taking a walk around and meeting someone. So these are the collection of the stories, their perspective plus my perspective. And somewhere some titles I chose because I wanted to bring out something for the people new, and which is not that popular also, so that they understand what the person goes through in that era, or in that feeling, like, there is a topic called asexual. So why there are people who are categorized as asexual people, and what they feel, how they go. So it is a whole story that goes around them. So I wanted them to understand that these people also exist, and these are not known, but you should know their stories, because it is not easy to be that person to come back to a normal life. So that is why it was chosen.
And why letters? Like from everything that exists out there, why letters? A book of letters, especially. I mean, that's
I
quite
have a
something that which is not common.
I have a superpower of writing letters. Like, people find it very relatable, and it is something which I learned first in while writing any literature. It wasn't an essay, it wasn't anything, but it was letters, and it was a letter written to the best friend. The very same letter, I would say, which is there in the book, which is just twisted with the new word. But yeah, it was a letter written to the best friend, and I enjoyed writing that. It was a very big letter though, but I enjoyed writing that, and उसके वजह से मेरे extra 5 mark कट गए थे, because my teacher was like, you shouldn't write such big letters. This literature isn't working right now. So that is how it was. But my first thing, and I was very close. It was letters are very close to my heart. I have a collection of postcards. I have everything that around revolves around letters. So that is why I chose letters.
Okay. So how did you decide? Like, there were some topics that were very close to you, of course, and then there were, like you said, some topics that you still wanted to write about because you wanted to show a different perspective. So how did you find the balance between the two? Like, was it still meaning a lot to you when you wrote it, when you were not personally going through it, or how was it different? Were you finding it difficult to find a particular flow, or did you talk to people who were going through something like this, or was it your perspective of what you think they might be?
No, I spoke to people. It was indeed very difficult for me to write on some topics, because you are not the person feeling it. So you can't portray the actual feelings of that particular thing. But I knew people around me who were such people who are going through a lot of things in their mind. And we could share a bond. We actually, like, it is very funny, but there is one stranger with whom I actually talk, and that person connected me on the letters only. Initially, I had written a letter, and that is how we spoke around. And to even today, we know each other as strangers. We don't even know the name. We don't even know the how we look alike. So that is how it goes about. So some stories when I heard from him, and then the things started evolving. So I had people around me talking, telling stuffs about the things which are happening in the world, but which are not seen by the people, which are not felt by the people. So I was like, let's touch them, like, let's give them a feel. Let's let people understand that there are many other things existing apart from the typical things or stereotypical things going on. So that is why it was there.
And being an expert on letters, what do you feel is the situation of letters in today's world? Like, where is it? What's the thoughts in people's head? And if it's changed, then why is it changed? And how can we, like, is there a possibility or a probability to get back to what letters used to mean?
आजकल letters are just writing for the business perspective, or students writing to get permission or get leave or whatever the things are, or just an literature subtopic in the English paper. I don't find people writing letters. I don't find people reading letters. I don't find people enjoying letters. They are like बहुत cliche है, बहुत पुराना है. And technology का ज़माना आया है, so now people have many people have converted that letters into emails. Like if they even want to send a letter, they send emails, which I don't understand and I don't like it also, because letter is a letter ka feel. You can't convert it into email and you can send. So somewhere it is very lost, just because it was a mode of communication before, and that is why we had to use it, because we did not have this technology. We used it, and as soon as we got the technology, we forget कि मेरे पास letters एक option था. So somewhere it is lost, and I can say it is 99% lost. There are only 1 or 2% people enjoying it around, at least what I see around me. And in coming future, I hope, I won't say I predict, but I hope it gets a boom again, that people start writing letters, and they convey a lot of messages, because letters can capture the feelings which you want to write and convey. लगे रहो मुन्ना भाई में भी उसने लेटर लिखकर बताया. तो देयर आर वेरियस प्लेसेस आल्सो वेयर इन सिनेमाटोग्राफी आल्सो यू कैन सी कि लेटर्स के थ्रू चीजें बात की गई है बात. So that is something, it has a magic in it. So one should start writing it again.
And जैसा you said that movies में अक्सर दिखाया गया है, so just a little disclaimer that I want to give to the people that कृपया letters को post office के through भेजिए, मूवी से सीखी कबूतर के पैरों पे ना बांधे. Just that's what I wanted to say, क्योंकि जब हम movies कहते हैं लोग सच में movies पे पहुंच जाते हैं कहीं ना कहीं. So yeah.
Okay. You've also written being a co-author with another book called Creation. So if I have to ask you to choose poems or letters, what?
Oh, definitely letters. Poems is not. Poems is, I'm learning to write. I'm not very good at it, but somewhere I generally write poems which are kind of, I don't know, I've got a feedback that they are kind of sound like a song. Why don't you try writing that? So that feedback I have received from 3 to 4 people. I'm like, okay, I'll try. But poems is something not that good at. I'm not good at it. Letters is something which I'm writing since 5th grade, 4th and 5th grade, and that is continued. And I have a diary, a travel diary, which is full of travel letters. So that is something which is be like I'm doing that for a longer period of time. So that is obviously a main and favorite thing. Letters over anything, like letters over novels also. I won't even prefer writing a novel. If you come and tell me that you have to write a letter, I'll do it fatafat. Yeah, you come and tell me you have to write a novel, and okay, it is like that.
So when should we expect the part 2 of Cordially Yours?
That is very difficult. I won't promise anything, because this book took me around a year and a half to complete. It was not an easy job for me also, because I professionally I am a programmer and a developer. So technical and writing going hand in hand is not that possible. I get stuck in writer's block many a times, and I don't know how to come out of it, and it is not an easy journey to come out of it and write something. So it is not that easy for me to write something, and I don't want any letter to get spoiled because of anything. So I won't tell the time limit kya hoga ya kab aayega, but aayega zero, because I have something in mind and I know what I want to do with it. But aayega zero.
Okay, so do you, or have you, in any of the letters that you wrote, did you let inspiration take you, or did you go looking for an inspiration? And if you did go looking for an inspiration, then do you remember the topic that?
Many letters actually I went for an inspiration. Many letters, I had a set of topics predefined before writing. but somewhere I did not find the flow correct, or I was like, this are not that interesting for me as my perspective. So I had Mitali was there by my side. So every 3 in the morning, 2 in the morning, I used to call her up. I'm like, I'm not liking this topic, what should I do and anything. So she used to give me some topics, and then she used to give me a kind of direction also, why you should pick this topic and how you should go about it. And that is how she was the main inspiration, I would tell कि हाँ उसने मुझे बहुत मदद की चीजों में to figure out why and what. She has helped me a lot in writing, so that she was the person.
Yes, yes, yes. And how have you felt about the success of the book and about the feedbacks that you have received? What were your initial reaction and how could you like कहीं ना कहीं over the top भी कभी कभी feel हो जाता है, and then so what was your initial reaction and how you composed yourself regarding it?
I was actually not ready for this book because, the team only gave me the power to come up with the latest book. I remember before launching, it was the next day of the launch, and tonight in the evening, I'm telling the people that I'm launching my book tomorrow. So I was so reluctant about launching it because I had a fear. मैंने वही बताया ना कि पहले लेटर्स होते थे, लिखते थे, लोगों के पास शायद कोई ऑप्शन नहीं था इसलिए लिखा जाता था. अभी it is some people take it as a very cliche thing, some people take it as a very boring thing and old school types and anything. There are various opinions people are having. So I wasn't sure, and people don't love to read letters as much as I've seen. So I wasn't sure about the book. But when the book came out, it literally, I had a very unexpected reactions from many people who I thought were not going to read the book and never going to read anything. But they did actually read the book. They came, they told me. And the best reaction I got was from my Mama ji, who read the book, and he was all like, I remember a Simran who was so small and used to go around with a cycle, having the whole house on her head, and used to cry for the chocolates, and then coming up with such an amazing book is something which I don't know how to, express. So that speechlessness, that pride in his eyes, and he had tears also somewhere in his eyes. He was very proud. So that was a very touchy moment for me, that I have achieved. Like, this book has done well. So I was very happy, very, very happy about it. And after that, many people were like, we are waiting for the second part also. And it is an ebook. So people are like, मेरे को paperback में भी चाहिए. I want to take the paperback version as well. I'm like, okay, I'll try it. I'm not planning a paperback right now of that because I want to come with the second part. And that I'm trying to come up with something new. So इसलिए I'm waiting. Let's see how it goes.
So, okay, you mentioned that you come from a tech background who wants to write. So, is there any advice that exactly like you who have a tech background but have a story or have an idea that they want to share with the world?
I would say you have to write it down. Like, you can't just wait कि मेरा लिखना कब अच्छा होगा, मैं कब अच्छे से लिखूंगा, या मेरा vocabulary कम है, या मेरा sentence formation गलत है, या मुझे नहीं समझ, जो भी है. Like, every letter which I have written was in a mixed language before. I speak 7 languages, so it was a mixture of at least 3 to 4 languages, every letter. So I had to sit down, rewrite them twice, thrice, 5 times, 10 times, and you have to do it when you're writing a book. So, और वो एक रफ, अगर आप अभी एक रफ से शुरुआत करोगे, आप अभी एक स्टोरी दोगे, so that is what something which will help you to come up with a book finally. So that is, I would like to tell them कि रुको मत, let it be anything. May you not be good at English also, no worries. May you not, if you are writing a Hindi book, you may not be good at Hindi, but you should start writing, give it a rough draft, and eventually you learn how to have the structure of it and how to go about writing all the stuff.
That's interesting. And my last question of the day would be that, again, जैसे हमारे बुक के साथ conclude करते हैं, this time I want to conclude from your perspective itself. Why should people pick this book up?
This book, because it gives you a lot of insights into people's life. You understand a lot about people around you. you understand, you can get to know why some people behave like that, what is the reason behind it. Some are the untold stories which people love, and some are perceptions towards the thing. Like for example, अगर मैं ये चश्मा भी बोलूँ, so why this spectacle is more important than anything else? Because if I lose my spectacle, I can't see anything. So that is something, but it has a different meaning. It has a different perspective. So, and it covers everything. Like you have love, you have life, you have heartbreaks, you have everything revolving around it. So it is a complete life package, I would tell you. कि अगर आपको एक लेटर नहीं पसंद आएगा, बट हाँ मतलब even while promoting, I gave it a challenge to the people, like there won't be a letter which you won't connect to it. There is a letter, at least one letter minimum, कि जिससे आप connect कर पाओगे. And I have not failed till now. From the reader's side, I have not heard कि भाई मैंने connect नहीं किया कि कोई भी letter से. So the challenge still continues कि अगर आपने connect नहीं किया, so I stop the book right there.
Right.
That's a beautiful challenge, I can say. And that's what a writer has, a confidence in his words when a writer has observed enough. And somewhere that's what we truly sense within our words, and that's what we want to put forward. Because sometimes that's what I like about observational writers, because they don't say their words, they actually say the words that have been thought by the others who can't share it, who don't have the mediums to share it. So then you know that when these words go out there in the world, obviously people will connect to it because they feel that, oh my god, I'm almost listening to my own self. If I would have written a book, probably this would be the book. And probably they might be like, oh shit, मेरे दिमाग में कुछ का आइडिया तो नहीं चुरा लिया कहीं. So thank you so much, Simran, for joining in, and we had a very great talk, great discussion. First of all, with you about The Alchemist, and then we got to know more insights about Cordially Yours. And thank you, Divya Anandani, as always, being my co-host and expressing all your joyful experiences around The Alchemist. And to both of you for bearing my super excitement regarding this book, obviously, जहाँ मैं बीच में अचानक से खोज जाता था, and like नहीं मैं बताऊंगा. So those things happens. And thank you everyone for joining in on both the streams. If you are watching this directly, then know that there is a part 1 of it as well, which you can watch, जिसमें पूरा Alchemist discuss हुआ है. And this is the part 2 where we have discussed about Cordially Yours. So you guys can go and watch both the parts and drop the love to all of us probably. अगर आपको करना है तो every detail is available in the description, and you can find Cordially Yours in Amazon store. Just go online and you can read it on your mobile phones or your pads or tabs, laptop, or if you have a Kindle device, then on a Kindle as well. So that's all your choice, and you will find the link to buy the book in the description. And just drop your feedbacks. Everyone loves the feedbacks. So till the next week, see ya. Thank you once again joining